Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Happy New Comic Book Day, October 9th, 2024. I hope all you guys found all your books in your cubby, on the new comic book shop wall, or mailed to you. However you guys get your books, I hope that you found all the books you're looking for this week. I know I did here in the loud, mysterious black bag. And before we get dived into that, couple things I did want to discuss with you guys today. I actually did drops two titles this week, so yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But before that, I do want to let you guys know about Jacob's Comics 9/8 mystery box. Right now I'm throwing in 5 exclusive comics for free with every mystery box. You get 3 trade dresses, 2 virgins. Retail value on just the 5 exclusives alone is $105. It's just $100 plus shipping for the mystery box, and you're also going to get that 9/8 slab in there. Grand prize on it is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin #1, signed 5 times by Kevin Eastman and the whole crew on the Ninja Turtles. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the 2 titles that I dropped this week and why I dropped them. So first up, we're gonna touch on the first title that I dropped. They're both actually X-Men titles. I decided to do away with, as you probably know if you watch the channel, X-Force. I don't know what's up with this X-Force run. It is not my X-Force team. I don't even like. Just slapping the X-Force name on this team feels so wrong in so very many ways, because it's truly not X-Force. It's this complete other team that isn't terrible, or at least like the premise isn't terrible in and of itself. Which the premise, if you don't know, is basically we've got Forge as the leader of the team. And he's got this techno mutant power where he can just make anything out of anything. He's like Super MacGyver. That's his mutant power, right? And always has been. So he's used this mutant power now to kind of make himself his own Cerebro device. It's a little ball about as big as a tennis ball. And he says that this device that he's made will lead him and the group of heroes, mutant heroes that he surrounded himself with, to fractures, which, if not fixed, will break in and destroy the Earth, basically, is kind of like the gist of it. And so, I don't know, even when I describe the premise of the book, there are questions. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little hard to buy in, right? And I think that's part of the problem. But the bigger part of the problem, and the main reason why I decided to drop this title, because for me, that in and of itself isn't enough. And I think we can use, or could have used, that interesting kind of setup, or you know what I'm saying, idea, to fruit a good story. But that is absolutely not what's happening, I don't think, in this book. I couldn't even tell you what happened in the last book. It was super confusing. I don't know. Character motivations out of nowhere. People just striking up chemistry and all of a sudden talking with each other as if they'd known each other for 10 years and they've been best friends forever. Felt so out of left field for me that everything combined, I was just like, I don't think this writer has a grasp of the characters, and I'm just not. I'm not in. I gotta be out on that one. I gotta be out. It's like I said, it's not even X-Force. I don't know why they called that one X-Force. Probably just because they, hoping it would sell. I feel like they should have called the book that's currently X Factor X-Force, because that's the best of the non-X-Men titles. Well, that out of the way, let's go ahead and slide on over to the other book that I decided to drop. And this one, I'll be honest, I didn't really give this one all that much of a chance. But based on my my active dislike for Al Ewing's stories, and the fact that I was not completely in, and sort of, it didn't feel like a book that was for me. It felt like a book that was for someone else. And so I'm sure some people are still appreciating this title, and if you are, you know, I hope you're enjoying it. It just wasn't for me. I decided to drop the Exceptional XMen title by Eve Ewing. I know she's not Al Ewing, but it is, you know, his wife. And so, not just like, maybe she kind of would write stories in a similar vein was my thought process on that too. And I don't really enjoy how he writes stories. So if any of this, you know, she were to take to her husband and be like, what do you think? And he would help her with any ideas. I just completely wouldn't want anything. I don't want to read it. And, you know, I'm like, nah, I think I'll pass on that one. I wasn't really sucked into the, on issue number 1. And so passed on it, and it leaves some room for some others. Although I do have a really light week this week. We'll go ahead and get this loud, mysterious black bag out of the way. I picked up 3, whoop, it's loud. I picked up 3 books this week. And as usual, I have read all the books that I got, and I put them in an order of least favorite to favorite, and we'll do a non-spoiler kind of thoughts on each book and what I thought of it. So here in the number 3 spot, I've got Venom 38. And this one, it wasn't bad. Okay, so it wasn't bad, but I was kind of disappointed. I think the last 2 issues of this old man, old man, it's hard to say because it's not, you know, it's younger Eddie, Eddie's son, Dylan. There you go. Sorry, brain fart. Okay, so it's like old man Dylan Brock, right? But he's Venom at that. He's a Venom, and he comes from a dystopian future, and he's come back to the past to save the day, right? And I really did enjoy those first 2, and thought we were in for one heck of a ride, and was really enjoying it. And this one kind of felt like a little bit of a step down. But it wasn't terrible. I think I was just expecting so much out of it. And we do have one more issue, which would be the last issue of the Venom War tie-ins. Then I'll be able to let you know how it ran for me, not reading any of the other tie-ins and just kind of sticking with the Venom title that I've been enjoying. Because I am hoping I get closure. I hate when they put the closure in another book. And I looked at the order, and I totally feel like they're going to do the end of this in Venom War 4. And that will actually bother me a little bit. If we get to Venom 40 and you know, I have to go find a way to read Venom War 4 to find out how this whole thing kind of ended, I'm going to be a little bit like, really, guys? Got to stop doing these gigantic crossovers that, for at least me, it's not that big a story. And I don't know the whole setup for why Dylan and Eddie are even fighting. It's starting to wane. You know what I'm saying? This whole storyline with everything that's gone on. I like Dylan as Venom, but it feels to me like the entire time that we've had Dylan as Venom, the writers have been trying to shoehorn Eddie in and not trying to develop Dylan's character at all, and just kind of move us forward to a point in which Eddie can become Venom again. And I know that's not what's happening because I've seen the future, you know, reveals and what they're trying to sell for December, January, right? And we can see that Venom's actually getting a relaunch, a new issue number 1, and it's going to be an all-new Venom. Speechless. That's speechless at how they've kind of sabotaged it. But needless to say, I was still enjoying this old man Dylan storyline. And so let's hope they at least wrap that up. Gonna move on to my number 2 book. It's actually kind of a strong number 2 in my opinion. Kind of meander back and forth on this one or the book that gets number 1 this week. But I went ahead and put this in the number 2 spot. We got Amazing Spider-Man 59. Just a really fun book drawn by Romita, who knows how to make a story flow. And even though he may not be at the peak of his game as an artist at this point, he is at the peak of his game at story flow, panel by panel. You're never left feeling like there are panels missing and how did we get from here to here and just kind of janky. That's never John Romita. I kind of pointed it out in issue 58, the issue prior to this one, which had a lot of these back and forth panelings. This issue is a full blown. This is not a spoiler. Just, some people, this might make some people want to go check it out and make others be like, not for me. But this issue is a full blown dirty street fight between Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Tombstone, and they duke it out, guys. It is very bloody, to be honest with you, and they're throwing haymakers at each other, and words are being said that are progressing this storyline forward, and I have to hand it to Wells. He's really he's ending his Amazing Spider-Man run on a really high note. This is definitely the best of what he's given us the entire time. And his Tombstone through line through this has been really good. Obviously, we're going to find out really soon if he can nail that landing. And that'll really kind of, at least for me, solidify where I put this run in the annals, up against the Amazing Spider-Man cavalcade of amazing talent, groups to create the book creators. In my number 1 spot, I've got Conquest 2099 number 1. I went ahead and picked up the variant for this one. That was kind of cool looking. Of course, we've got my favorite character, Spider-Man 2099, is in this book. And this book deals a lot with this storyline that's been sort of slowly set up, starting with Annihilation 2099, that miniseries. And now we're bringing in Spider-Man 2099 and a few X-Men characters, and some of the highlights from the Annihilation run, and now it's all kind of coming together. Who's the big bad guy? Who's on each other's side? Why would the heroes possibly think about teaming up with Dracula 2099 and his army of vampires? Which, at least I'm just guessing, does not happen in this issue. But that seems to be where we're headed. Since Annihilation till now, Dracula 2099 has been presented as the hero. And so I honestly was kind of been waiting for the heel turn. But I don't know if it's a first appearance. I'd have to go back and reread the stuff. But I think it's a first appearance of a new bad guy in this first issue, who I'm pretty sure, like 90% sure, maybe 95% sure, that he's going to be the main bad guy for our group of heroes that they're going to have to all band together in order to defeat them. Additionally, it's not a spoiler at this point to say Nova Wolverine shows up in this and is going to be a part of this miniseries. So if that's a character you were interested in learning some more about or reading, he does show up, and so he's going to be one of the main players for looks like the good guy team. I'm pretty sure it's Logan. He's going to stay a good guy. And so that, you know what, that's what I have today, guys. I enjoyed the books this week. I had a bunch of fun with them. Unfortunately, decided to drop some of the X-Men titles. Let me know in the comments below if you guys decided to drop any of those or just not even pick them up in the first place. I feel like there was even another book that came out this week called The Sentinels. And I was curious about it, but man, how many X titles are they trying to launch with this from the Ashes relaunch? There is just no way all these titles are going as continuing ongoing. It's like we're up to like 15 titles for that. I feel like maybe it's only 10, but even 10, like who's buying 10 different X books every month? What does Marvel think that they're doing with all this? I'm so confused. Anyways, that's what I have today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. We'll see you guys next time, and have a great day.